In this video, we're looking at ordering decimals. So when we're ordering decimals, it's important to realize that the position of all the digits in a number show the size. So this is known as place values. So on your screen, you can see a couple of place values there. You see hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, and hundredths. So for example, if I had 51.3 here, my 5 is in my tens, 1 is in the ones, and 3 is in the tenths. So you could write it like that. The next one, what if I had 103.39? Again, 10339. So each of those digits has some sort of value that lets us order them, other decimals against each other. Now, the further left you go, the more value or the bigger the number is. Obviously, the more right you go, the smaller the number. Alright, so the number of digits after the decimal point tells us the number of decimal places in a decimal. So if you're asked later on to how many decimal places in this number, you could say it. So for example, in 0.53, how many decimal places this has, you count how many positions after this. So this has 2 numbers after the dot. So you'd say this has 2 decimal places. The next one, it has 1 after it, so this has 1 decimal place. And lastly, this has 1, 2, 3, so this has 3 decimal places. Now we're going to look at actually ordering some of these. So arrange the set of numbers below in ascending order. So ascending here means from small to large. So what we're looking for with these set of numbers is the smallest value first, and by that you can just look for which one has the smallest amount after the decimal point. So in this case we have 9.998 here, so that'll be our smallest. Then we're looking for our tens ones, and which is the smallest in our tens. So 23.89 comes next. Then we have our next one, which is our 43.89. And then we've hit a point where we have a 56 and a 56. So you look at the next number, that's a 3 and that's a 3. Look at the next number, a 2 and a 1, and 1 is smaller than 2. So that's our 56.314 is smaller than the 56.324. And then we go to the next one, which is 80.879, and finally, I'll just write it down here, 400. Alright, so that's ascending. Now what happens if you get something like this, where this time we're actually doing descending, so that's going from largest to smallest. Alright, so this time, all these numbers are fairly similar, so if you get stuck and you can't see it straight away, what you can do is write all the numbers out. So 1.6, and then keep the next one, 1.61, 1.599. You want to keep all the place values underneath each other. And finally 1.509. So we're looking for the biggest number, so we're going to look at this column first. They're all ones. So we're going to move on to the next column, which is this one. Alright, so we have a 6 here, a 6 here, and a 6 here. So what we need to do now is find of those ones, which is the next biggest. So I'm missing a number up in the top number, so I can fill that in with zeros. Alright, so now what we're going to do, if I can just get rid of that, is look at this column. And we're saying, alright, well, which one's here has the biggest number? So we can get rid of that dot and that dot because 1 is bigger than 0 and 0. So the largest number is 1.610. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross that number out and we're going to do it again. So we're looking at this column here, all ones. Look at this column here. Sorry, cross that out. Alright, we've got 2 6s, 6 here, 6 here. So we go, alright, we're going to look at the next here. Both are zeros. So again, we're going to look at the next column over here. And we have a 1 down here, which is bigger, so that number comes next. So we have 1.601, and then we're going to have our last 1.6 next. Alright, so now what I can do is cross those two numbers out. I'm left with looking at my 5s here and here, same thing, both have 1s, both have 5s, and then we're looking at this column here now, and we have a 9 which is bigger than a 0, so that comes next. So 1.599, and then lastly comes our 1.509 because it's the smallest. So if you write them all out straight in the same, all the place values in the same line, columns, you can order it there going from smallest to largest or largest to smallest, whatever the question requires you to do.